Hello students, how are you all? In previous video, you studied about the properties of genetic code, isn't it? So where I think you came to know what are the different properties or characteristic features of the genetic code. Okay, so it is triplet in nature, the genetic code is universal in nature, the genetic code is non-ambiguous, the degeneracy of genetic code, then collinearity, genetic code is commaless. So these are all the properties or the characters you have studied in the previous video. No. So today I am going to discuss about the next concept, that is about the second half of protein synthesis, that is translation. Okay, translation is one of the most important mechanism that takes place in all living cells. Okay, whether it is a prokaryote or a eukaryote, whatever it may be, in all living cells the translation mechanism that will take place. You know, when we apply suppose if you are suffering from any kind of disease, say as bacterial disease, if you are suffering from bacterial diseases, the doctor will prescribe you antibiotics, isn't it? So once you take those antibiotics or once you consume those antibiotics, so the disease will be subsided, the symptoms will be subsided. But what is the major reason why the disease is subsided after taking an antibiotic or after consuming an antibiotic? See, the major reason is what the antibiotic is do when you take the antibiotic that specifically target the bacterial cells, then it enters into the bacterial cells where the main function is to stop its translation process. It blocks its translation process. See, once the translation is blocked, then bacterial cells, they couldn't able to prepare the proteins which are necessary for their metabolic activities. Mainly, the bacterial translation process that will be blocked, that is stopped. Gradually the bacterial cells, they start dying because they will be unable to prepare their proteins which are necessary for their metabolic functions in the cell. Hence this gradually starts dying, then your symptoms will be subsided, you will get cured by the disease, isn't it, by consuming the antibiotics. So what the antibiotic will do there, it specifically targets the translation process, it blocks the synthesis of the proteins. So you studied about the process of transcription, isn't it? It is said to be the first step in gene expression. So where an mRNA molecule is synthesized, after that I explain about the genetic code. Okay, so there are the definite bases of nitrogenous bases which are found in the mRNA, that is what is called as the genetic code, isn't it? So then what is this translation? Translation, it is the second half of gene expression or the second step in gene expression or second half of protein synthesis. Once after the mRNA is produced, that mRNA get converted into a polypeptide chain. The major function of mRNA, that is nothing but carrying the genetic information or the information which is necessary for the protein that carried. Then that mRNA, according to the message found on the mRNA, the polypeptide chain that is synthesized inside the cell, isn't it? So especially inside the cytoplasm. Okay, so let us study about the mechanism what is known as translation. Translation. See, this is a very broad topic, the translation. Okay, so a very broad mechanism. This is how the translation that takes place inside the cell. What is actually the mechanism that is involved behind translation. Okay, so before that you should know what is translation. What is this translation? See, translation is nothing but it is the decoding of the message. Decoding of the message. Message is nothing but the codons which is found on the mRNA. Decoding of the message found on mRNA into decoding of message found on mRNA into a polypeptide chain. That is what is called as translation. So you know what is transcription? The coding of an mRNA molecule. That is, an mRNA molecule is synthesized by the DNA, isn't it? So where the genetic information is found on the DNA that get copied into an mRNA molecule, that process is what is called as a transcription. So you remember the central dogma of molecular biology. The unidirectional flow of information from DNA to protein is what is called as the central dogma. So where the first step in that is the synthesis of DNA from DNA, that is what is called as the replication, isn't it? So where from DNA to mRNA, that is what is regarded as the transcription, and from mRNA to protein is what is called as a translation. So where we have completed the previous steps about replication, transcription, so then the translation, so where the message this is found in the sense strand of the DNA, the coding strand of the DNA, that get copied to an mRNA molecule. So where that process is what is called as a coding, and mRNA that consists, that is what is called as a codons. So like AUG, like UUU. So this is nothing but the genetic code, isn't it? So you know that each genetic code that codes for a particular amino acid, isn't it? So the message is found on the mRNA is decoded into, it is decoded into a polypeptide chain. That is what is called as a translation. Andre mRNA ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ which is required for the synthesis of a protein. According to that message, the amino acids will be added by the RNA, what is called as a tRNA, that is transfer RNA. Okay, the transfer RNA molecule that goes on adding the amino acids, that is according to the message found on the mRNA. Hence a corresponding polypeptide chain will be synthesized. What is this polypeptide chain? Polypeptide chain is nothing but a protein. You know why it is said to be a polypeptide chain? Poly means many, peptide means the peptide bonds. Their peptide bonds are nothing but the CONH bond. The molecule which is having many number of peptide bond is nothing but a protein. A protein is a complex molecule and that is having many number of peptide bond. Peptide bond is nothing but CONH bonds. So many number of peptide bond, that molecule is considered as a protein. So according to the message found on the mRNA are codons which are found on the mRNA which are decoded into a polypeptide chain. ಏನು decoding ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ AUG ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ which is found on the mRNA. ಈ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So you know the genetic code, isn't it? So AUG ಗೆ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ AUG that codes for the amino acid methionine, isn't it? Methionine is an amino acid that is for AUG. Here AUG is a code, is a codon. This codon is decoded. The code is decoded into. Okay, I think you heard about coding and decoding mechanism or a process. So just like that. So where the AUG is a codon or a code that is found on the mRNA that is decoded into a methionine, an amino acid. Say AUG that codes for methionine. Similarly, UUU that codes for phenylalanine. Phenylalanine. Likewise, there are many number of amino acids which are added together, which are bonded together by means of a polypeptide bond. So then it gets converted into a protein molecule. See, this is very simple. You know how you write the items which are required for your home on a regular basis. For example, ಈಗ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೋ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ತರಬೇಕು regularly ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so you'll write all those items, okay, on a sheet of paper. So it means that is just like you are coding the information, coding the items which are necessary on a sheet of paper, okay, so that you will carry into a shop. So where you will give it in the shop to the person who is in the shop, so where he will read what are the items which are required for you and he will pick up which is found in the shop and all of them will be packed together. So just like that, ಶಾಪಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನೇನು ಬೇಕಂತ, ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ತಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. So it is just like that. What are the ingredients you require, you write on a sheet of paper. Similarly, what is the code, the genetic information that is written on the mRNA, that is nothing but transcription. So you are also transcripting. So the requirements, what you are writing, that is a transcript. Similarly, the message found in the DNA, the genetic information that is found on the DNA, that is just written on the mRNA. It means it is copied on the mRNA, and according to the message which is found on the mRNA, that gets translated or decoded into a polypeptide chain. How you are written or a transcript that get converted into a bag of items, Similarly, the messages found on the mRNA that get converted into a polypeptide chain. Okay, where one by one amino acids will be added and they were continuously bonded together, forming a very long chain. That is what is called as a polypeptide chain or a protein molecule. So translation, it is a process in which a protein molecule is produced. This is the second half of protein synthesis. Okay, first half is transcription, the second half is translation. Okay, so that's why it is said to be the decoding of the message found. Message is found in what form? That is found in the form of codons on the mRNA, that is in the form of genetic code, a group of 3 nucleotides, okay, that which specifies as an amino acid. So codons which are found on the mRNA into a polypeptide chain, that is what is called as a translation process. Okay, so this like is a translation process. It is just like a movie. How a movie is having a beginning, how it is having a middle, and how it is having an end, isn't it? That is nothing but the climax. The middle, the starting point, okay, then the middle, then the end. That is nothing but the climax. Similarly, this is also having the same processes like initiation, that is the starting one, then the elongation, that is the middle portion, then the termination, that is nothing but the climax, that is just like a climax. Okay, so the 3 major processes that we can see here in a process of translation, what is called as initiation, elongation and termination, the starting, middle and the climax. The similar process that can be comparable, I am telling it can be comparable to that thing. Okay, so similar thing that can be seen here, the initiation process, the beginning of translation, it is a beginning, okay, whereas elongation, it is just like a middle one, whereas the termination, it is just like a climax one. It means the polypeptide chain synthesis that will be terminated in that. Okay, so before beginning with the initiation, we should know what are the requirements for translation. ಏನೇನು ಬೇಕು translation ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ? So major thing is mRNA, because this is very much necessary. Until there is no mRNA, hence translation cannot be carried out, because without a message the amino acids cannot be added, hence a protein cannot be synthesized. Hence mRNA, this is a basic requirement for translation process. Okay, similarly the other, what are the other requirements? ಬರೀ mRNA ಒಂದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ನೋ, ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ? ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ mRNA it needs tRNA. It requires tRNA. tRNA ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? Because it should bring the corresponding amino acids, you know. That's why tRNA is required. Okay, so that is nothing but the transfer RNA, tRNA. Similarly, the major components like ribosomes, so they are also the prerequisites, and you know ribosomes are popularly known as protein factories of the cell. You know the reason why? Because they majorly take part, are involved in protein synthesis. That's why ribosomes are very much necessary for translation. Okay, so then thereafter the ribosomes were amino acids, which are major thing here, because they are the raw materials for protein synthesis. They are the monomers of the polypeptide chain. Hence amino acids are very much necessary to carry out a translation process. Without amino acids, you know, there is no translation. Without amino acid, there is no protein. Hence amino acids are very much necessary. So they are also the requirements. Similarly, it needs energy like ATP, and in the form of GTP. It requires energy in the form of triphosphates, that is adenosine triphosphate and guanosine triphosphate. So they are required here, that is in the form of energy. Okay, so besides that, there are most proteins and enzymes which are required here, like proteins like initiation factors. IF means initiation factors. Similarly, EF, that is elongation factors. EF means elongation factors. And similarly, the termination factors, like termination proteins like R1 and R2, they are the terminating or releasing factors. Here R, that refers to releasing factors. So they are the requirements. Along with that, the enzymes are very much necessary. You know that it is a biochemical process. It takes place inside the living cell within the cytoplasm. So hence it should be carried out by means of the enzymes. Hence enzymes are very much necessary here. Okay, so then what are those enzymes which are required to carry out the translation process? For example, like amino acyl synthetase, enzyme. See, this is a very important enzyme. I will tell the role after that. Amino acyl synthetase enzyme. Then transferase enzyme. Okay, so thereafter it requires peptidyl, then peptidyl transferase. Transferase is nothing but the peptidyl transferase. Okay, peptidyl transferase. Then it requires peptidyl synthetase. Okay, so like this, these are some of the major enzymes which required for translation. And you remember another thing, it takes place in the cytoplasm. not inside the nucleus, because the synthesis of mRNA or formation of mRNA that takes place in the mRNA, just go back to the previous videos and just remember the previous concepts. mRNA molecule is produced within the nucleus, so where it is earlier it is said to be heteronuclear RNA, so where it consists of both exons and introns, where the introns were removed, they were cut off, that is what is called as RNA splicing, then a processed mRNA that will be released into the cytoplasm. But whereas in case of prokaryotes, no, once the mRNA is produced simultaneously, from one end the translation process also begins. At one end there will be a transcription, in the other end there will be a translation, so it takes place very early or simultaneously. But in case of eukaryotes, the mRNA should be processed before releasing it to the cytoplasm. Thereafter the ribosomal subunits will bind with the mRNA, then the tRNA molecule will come and bind to the, this is similar in prokaryotes also, but without RNA processing. Okay, so where the ribosomal subunit binds to mRNA, so thereafter that the tRNA molecule binds to specific sites on the ribosome, so along with the amino acid, hence gradually one by one amino acids will be added and the chain will be elongated. Once the ribosomal complex, once it reaches the terminator sites on the mRNA, you know, remember the nonsense codons or the stop codons or the terminator codons, they are very much necessary. They decides how much length should be the polypeptide chain, or what is the number of amino acids should be. Beyond that, the amino acids were not added. Hence the polypeptide chain that will be terminated. Hence they were also very much important, that is the terminator codons. Okay, so these are all the requirements for the process what is called as the translation. Okay, so let us begin with the steps like initiation, elongation and termination. So there are three mechanisms, the major mechanisms, you know. One is initiation, then elongation and termination. So these are the three mechanisms which takes place during translation process. Initiation is nothing but the beginning or the start, elongation is nothing but the middle, and whereas the termination, it is the end or the climax. Okay, so let us begin with, or let us start with the process what is called as the initiation. So as I said, you know, the translation process requires a complex. What that complex is, ಏನದು ಯಾವ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ. ಸಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗಲೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ mRNA molecule is majorly required. Like it consists of the codons like AUG or different codons, but AUG is always the initiator codon, you know. That's why AUG that comes in the first. AUG, then CAC, then GUG, then UUU. Likewise, there are different codons can be seen on the mRNA. So, and that runs in 5' to 3' direction. Similarly, the process of translation also that takes place in 5' to 3' direction. Replication of DNA, transcription and translation process, all of them that which are similar to one another, that is, all of them they're running in 5' to 3' direction. Okay. So later on, ribosomal subunit. You know that there are two subunits of ribosome. In prokaryotes, the ribosomal subunits are of 70S type, and where ribosome is of 70S type, and whereas in eukaryotes, ribosome is of 80S type, isn't it? 70S type of ribosome that consists of 50S plus 30S. The larger subunit is 50S type, and you know the larger and the smaller subunit. The larger subunit is 50S type, and the smaller subunit is 30S type. 50S and 30S type. So where the prokaryotic ribosomes are what is regarded as, or what is called as, the 70S type of ribosomes, and the eukaryotic ribosomes are of 80S type. So where the larger subunit is 60S type and the smaller subunit is 40S type. Okay, so that is a eukaryotic ribosome. So during the translation process, so where there will be a formation of the complex, the translation complex. So one thing is the ribosomes, the two subunits of ribosomes which binds. Okay, so the larger subunit and the smaller subunit, and along with that it requires a tRNA molecule. Okay, because tRNA is very much necessary to read the codons which are found on the mRNA. Along with that, it will carry the corresponding amino acid. Hence tRNA is performing the dual function here. One is reading the codons which are found on the mRNA, with its anticodon end. You know what is an anticodon region of tRNA? Where the bases which are found in the tRNA, the anticodon region, which are complementary to the bases or the codons which are found on the mRNA. Okay, anticodon is found on the tRNA, codon is found on the mRNA, code is found in the DNA in the form of nucleotide bases. Okay, remember that. Where the tRNA with an anticodon end that will binds to the mRNA, where it will reach the codons which are found on the mRNA. At the other end, the tRNA will carry the corresponding amino acid. Here I am writing AA. AA means amino acid. Okay. So hence that's why tRNA can be considered as an amino. What is called as the adapter molecule. tRNA, because it can adapt to dual function. One is reading the message found on the mRNA. It means it reads the codons which are found on the mRNA. And the other thing is it carry the amino acid to corresponding amino acid from at the other end. Okay, that is at the amino acid binding end. Hence tRNA is performing the dual role. It can be considered as an adapter molecule. It can adapt to this one also and that one. This one, that one means it is adapting for reading the codons also, and it is adapting for carry the amino acids also. Hence it is said to be an adapter molecule. Okay. Then after some length of the mRNA, at one end it may consist of the terminator codons which are very much necessary, like UAG or UAA or UGA, which are the terminator codons. Here I have written with a red ink mainly because this will ends the termination of the translation. So like this, the amino acid, the mRNA, then tRNA, and then ribosomes, or then terminator codons, all together forming the translation complex. Together they are forming translation complex. Okay. So let me talk about the process what is called as initiation. So as I said earlier, initiation is nothing but to start, isn't it? So you know that there are 20 different amino acids which are found in the cytoplasm and which are majorly involved in protein synthesis. 20 different amino acids, isn't it? 20 different amino acids which are found in the cytoplasm and which are majorly involved in protein synthesis. It means almost all proteins, not almost all proteins which are formed from that of 20 different amino acids. But their arrangement is different, then their number is different. Okay, some proteins they have large number of amino acids, some of they are having very small number of amino acids, like that. It may vary. Okay, so totally there are 20 different amino acids can be seen in the cytoplasm. So to carry the 20 different amino acids, there are 20 different tRNA molecules can be seen. It means each tRNA will carry a specific amino acid, not a single tRNA carry all kinds of amino acids. There are different tRNA molecules will carry different amino acids. You remember that. There are different tRNA molecules which carry the different amino acids. Okay. So what happens during the initiation process, the 20 different amino acids which are found in the cytoplasm, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಇಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there are 20 different amino acids in the cytoplasm and these 20 different amino acids they get activated, okay, but with the supply of ATP. The amino acids they get activated with the supply of ATP. So like amino acid AA. AA stands for amino acid with the help of ATP, where ATP is added to that. Then it forms a complex called as amino acyl adenylate complex. It forms a complex called as amino acyl adenylate complex. It means before the amino acid binding to a tRNA molecule, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು tRNA ಗೆ amino acid bind ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ amino acid should be activated. Activated means they should be energy rich, because with the supply of ATP, the amino acid should be supplied with the ATP or should be supplied with the energy. So where an enzyme that transfers the ATP group to amino acid, that is what is called as amino acyl synthetase. Amino acyl synthetase. See, this is an enzyme which adds up the energy group or the ATP molecules for the amino acid. So once it forms, ATP and amino acid, the combination will be amino acyl adenylate complex is produced, and similarly the AMP means adenosine monophosphate is released. Release ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. You know that the ATP, the terminal phosphate in ATP, it means the third phosphate found in ATP that is loosely bonded, that can be easily hydrolyzable, that can be easily removable. Hence, the enzyme amino acyl synthetase enzyme that acts up the ATP to amino acids, then amino acids will become, it forms a complex what is called as amino acyl adenylate complex. It means these are said to be the activated amino acids. Now it can bind with the tRNA. Okay, so then the amino acyl adenylate adenylate complex that will bind with the tRNA. That binds means amino acid, the activated amino acid or the energized amino acid or energy rich amino acid that will bind with the tRNA, and where it produces amino acyl adenylate tRNA complex. Amino acyl adenylate tRNA complex. Okay, amino acyl adenylate tRNA complex. So where the activated amino acid that get bind with the tRNA, and that forms amino acyl adenylate tRNA complex. Okay, so now an amino acid get binded with the tRNA. ಈಗ ಒಂದು tRNA ಗೆ ಒಂದು amino acid ಏನಾಯ್ತು bind ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, so this is ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು, together I am telling activation and selection of amino acid. The tRNA, now amino acid get activated. By the meantime, the tRNA will select the activated amino acid. That is activation and selection. Okay, amino acid get activated with the help of ATP. By the meantime, the activated amino acids will be selected by the tRNA. That's why it is said to be activation and selection of amino acids. Thereafter, here we can see about the initiation process. You know that where in eukaryotes, suppose in case of eukaryotes, the ribosomal subunits which always binds, first the smaller subunit of the ribosome that will bind, the smaller subunit of the ribosome will bind. So that is to the first codon. Here the first codon is, remember the first codon is AUG. What is the first codon? The first codon is AUG. Okay. Okay. So you know that AUG is always an initiator codon, isn't it? So that codes for the amino acid that is called as methionine. So once the mRNA that comes into the cytoplasm, no, the smaller subunit of ribosome that binds first, thereafter followed by the larger subunit. Okay. So, and also you should know what is the major function of ribosome involved in protein synthesis. See, a ribosome is a cell organelle that is, you know, what is popularly called as the protein factories of the cell, isn't it? So the ribosome majorly provides the slots. It majorly provides slots for the tRNA molecules to bind or to seat in the ribosome. It provides slot. Slot means just like a place. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಾಗ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ tRNA molecule ಬಂದು bind ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ. It provides slots for the tRNA molecule to come and bind on the ribosome to read mRNA. mRNA ನ read ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ribosomes tRNA molecule ಗೆ slots ಅನ್ನು provide ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. After that, the tRNA molecule will come and bind. So thereafter, it will carry the corresponding amino acid. Okay. So first, see what happens during the initiation. So you know, you should remember where the amino acid get activated with the help of ATP, and it get bind with the tRNA, forming amino acyl tRNA complex. Okay. So thereafter, what happens? You know, always the initiator codon on the mRNA is AUG. This is an initiator codon. So, but very rarely it will be GUG also, but always it is AUG. Okay. This codes for an amino acid what is called as methionine. Okay. The methionine amino acid that will binds with, methionine amino acid will bind with, it will bind with tRNA. Okay. It will bind with the tRNA, and where before that it get converted into N-formyl methionine. Okay. In prokaryotes, it is converted into N-formyl methionine. Okay. So this is an activated form of methionine here, that is N-formyl methionine. That N-formyl methionine but that binds with the tRNA. tRNA ಜೊತೆ N-formyl methionine ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ bind ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay. By the meantime, I said first the smaller subunit of ribosome binds, followed by the same time the N-formyl methionine that get binded with the tRNA molecule. By the meantime, the larger subunit of ribosome that will bind. The larger subunit of the ribosome will bind. Okay. So I said the function of the ribosomes will provide the slots. See, a ribosome consists of 3 slots. 3 different slots can be seen on the ribosomes, just like this. 3 different slots. Like those slots are what is called as E, P, A. Slot E, then the slot P and slot A. Okay. ಏನಿದು ಸ್ಲಾಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ tRNA ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಬೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ P. Okay, P site. So where P site, then A site. There are 3 sites can be seen: P site, A site, and E site. Okay. So P site, to which the tRNA that binds, it is just like a promoting, whereas A site, it is just like a landing site where the second tRNA that will bind, say ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, the second tRNA that will bind to A site, the first tRNA will binds to P site, the second tRNA will binds to A site, then E is nothing but the exit site. It means once after the tRNA delivering an amino acid, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ tRNA ಒಂದು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ನ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ the tRNA, the empty tRNA will enters, which means it shifts to E site, then it is get exit out of the ribosome ಇಂದ exit ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. After delivering an amino acid, the tRNA get be exit out from the exit site on the ribosome. Hence ribosome is having 3 slots. One is E, P and A site. Okay, E site, A site and the P site. So during the initiation process, what happens, the tRNA with the methionine, that is N-formyl methionine amino acid. So I will I will shift the position here. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. The tRNA with the methionine amino acid, this is E site, then this is the P site, and this one is the A site. The tRNA with the methionine amino acid, that comes and binds to the mRNA molecule on the P site of the ribosome. On the P site of the ribosome, the tRNA molecule that will binds with, and it came with what amino acid? That is N-formyl methionine. N-formyl methionine. This is an amino acid. The first amino acid should carry, because the mRNA is having an initiator codon, that is nothing but AUG. Okay. So then what is the anticodon on the tRNA for AUG? In place of A, there will be on tRNA, it is correspondence, no, it is complementary, there will be U. In place of U, where on the tRNA it will be A, whereas in place of G, the tRNA is having C. See, ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. Suppose if mRNA is having AUG or UUU, what will be the anticodon of tRNA? tRNA ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು anticodon ಇರುತ್ತೆ? CET ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ NEET ಇರಬಹುದು. It is very simple, because always the anticodon end of the tRNA, which is complementary to the codons found on the mRNA. Okay. Suppose mRNA carrying the AUG, the first initiator codon, the anticodon for AUG will be UAC, because they are complementary to, because A is complementary to U, then U is complementary to A, then C is complementary to G. Okay. See here, A is complementary to U, then U is complementary to A, similarly vice versa, then C is complementary to G. If AUG is the initiator codon, the anticodon on the tRNA will be UAC, hence it brings the amino acid, that is N-formyl methionine. So it forms the initiation complex. Okay, initiation complex includes the initiator codon, that is AUG, then the smaller subunit of ribosome that binds. First, the ribosomal subunits which are found freely in the cytoplasm, when there is no translation ಆಗದೇ ಇರುವಾಗ ribosomal subunits ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವಾಗ mRNA ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ribosomal subunits ಎರಡೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮರ್ಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ with the help of magnesium and zinc ions. Okay. So where the smaller subunit of the ribosome that binds, followed by the larger subunit. Once the ribosomal subunits binds, the tRNA molecule, the first tRNA carry the first amino acid, The first amino acid is methionine, that is N-formyl methionine. So where always the first tRNA carries N-formyl methionine, mainly because the first codon on the mRNA, that is AUG, that is the initiator codon. You remember that, okay? And this forms the initiation complex, also with some of the proteins which are involved here, that is initiation factors. So they helps in binding of the two subunits of ribosomal. Okay. So the first tRNA that enters to the P site of the ribosome. The first tRNA will enters into the P site of the ribosome. Okay. So hence the initiation process that begins. Initiation start ಆಯ್ತು ಯಾವಾಗ tRNA ಮತ್ತು ರೈಬೋಸೋಮಲ್ ಸಬ್ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ tRNA ಮಿಥಿಯೋನಿನ್ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬಂದು P ಸೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ AUG ಇಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಿಥಿಯೋನಿನ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ tRNA bind ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, then it forms an initiation complex. Then the step is what is called as initiation. Okay, so it requires energy in the form of GTP. Okay, in the form of GTP, remember. Then the next step is what is called as elongation. Elongation, it is a second step, that is just like a middle, isn't it? But you should know one difference here in case of the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Whereas in case of the eukaryotes, the smaller subunit of the ribosome, it first binds to or near the 5' site. 5' site on the mRNA. But whereas in case of the prokaryotes, you know, the sequences what is called as Shine-Dalgarno sequences, they are found in prokaryotic mRNA, where the smaller subunit of the ribosome that first binds to the Shine-Dalgarno sequences which are found in prokaryotic mRNAs. But in case of eukaryotes, you know, the ribosomal subunit that always first it binds at the 5' end of the mRNA. But whereas in case of the prokaryotes, the ribosomal subunits, the smaller subunit that binds at the Shine-Dalgarno sequences or the regions, the Shine-Dalgarno regions. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರೀಸನ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ಯೂಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ mRNAs ಆರ್ ಮಾನೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು mRNA ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಮಾನೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ mRNA ಅಂದ್ರೆ an mRNA carry a message which is required for a single protein, but prokaryotic mRNAs are monocystronic. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾನೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ mRNAs, ಯಾವುದು ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ mRNAs. ಪಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, an mRNA, single mRNA can carry the message for more than one protein. Hence more initiation sites ಅಂತ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದೇ mRNA ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಷನ್ ಸೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಜೀನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ what is a polycistronic mRNA is nothing but an mRNA will carry the message from more than one gene. ಒಂದು ಜೀನ್ ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಜೀನ್ ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಲೆಂತ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಲೆಂತ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈ ಜೀನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮುಗಿಬೇಕು, ಅದಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಜೀನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ mRNA ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ನಾನು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಜೀನ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆಲ್ಲೋ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೈಮಲ್ಟೇನಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅನದರ್ ಜೀನ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅನದರ್ ಜೀನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ mRNA ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂತ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಒಪೆರಾನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ ಒಪೆರಾನ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಷನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಷನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಂದ್ರೆ Shine-Dalgarno ರೀಜನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಆ Shine-Dalgarno ರೀಜನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ರೈಬೋಸೋಮಲ್ ಸಬ್ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಓಕೆ, not at the 5' end, but in case of eukaryotes, you know, it binds first at the 5' end. Okay, but in prokaryotes it binds at the Shine-Dalgarno regions on the mRNA. Okay, then this is what is called as the initiation process. The two ribosomal subunits that binds together, the first tRNA that will enters into the P site, so then it carry the first amino acid, that is what is called as the methionine amino acid. Okay, then next step is what is called as the elongation process. The next step is elongation, the middle. This is nothing but the middle, elongation. See, during elongation what happens, the ribosomal subunit that slightly move to the second codon on the mRNA. Suppose if the second codon is just like this UUU on the mRNA, you know what is UUU, that codes for phenylalanine, isn't it? So where the tRNA, the second tRNA should enter into the exposed site on the ribosome. So now what is the exposed site here? Exposed agiranta site yadu, that is the A site. A site of the ribosome is exposed here. Hence the second tRNA will comes to the A site of the ribosome. It will carry the second amino acid. Suppose ಈಗ mRNA ಮೇಲೆ U ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ tRNA ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಫಿನೈಲ್ ಅಲನಿನ್ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಗೆ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಏನು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ AAA. The anticodon region of tRNA is AAA. So then this tRNA will carry the second amino acids, okay, to the A site. Now the A site is said to be the exposed site. ಇದು expose ಆಗಿರೋಂತ site. So now the actual mechanism begins. ಈಗ ಎರಡು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬಂತು, ಹೌದಾ? ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು ಮಿಥಿಯೋನಿನ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ to the P site. Then the second amino acid that arrives, that is to the A site. Okay, the second tRNA arrives to the A site with the second amino acid, that is phenylalanine. Phenylalanine. This is the second amino. ಇದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, just I'm giving example. Okay, phenylalanine. ಈಗ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, there should be a bonding between these two amino acids. ಈ ಎರಡು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಈಗ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಶುರುವಾಗಬೇಕು. That is synthesis of a peptide bond. Okay, so the first amino acid, between the first amino acid and between the second amino acid, there should be a synthesis of a peptide bond. You know what is a peptide bond? That is nothing but CONH bond. A peptide bond is nothing but a CONH bond. ಏನ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? The nitrogen terminus means amino terminal of the methionine amino acid, amino terminal of the methionine amino acid, and carboxyl terminal of the second amino acid. Methionine amino acid na amino terminal plus the carboxyl terminal of the second amino acids. Between that there will be a bond. ಈ ಎರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That bond is nothing but the CONH bond. So where there will be a elimination of water molecule. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ವಾಟರ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so that is the first peptide bond. That is the first bond that is produced between the two amino acids. ಈ ಎರಡು ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಬಾಂಡ್, that is produced between methionine and the phenylalanine. Methionine, the nitrogen terminus of the amino terminus of the methionine. You know, an amino acid is having two terminals. One is COOH, carboxylic terminal, another one is amino terminal. Okay, so the amino terminal of methionine with bonds with the carboxylic terminal of phenylalanine amino acid, hence forming CONH bond with the elimination of water. One water molecule ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ eliminate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so that is the first peptide bond. So what happens after the formation of the peptide bond? You know, the first, then the ribosome that will shift to another position. ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೋಡಾನಿಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು CUC ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಟು ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕೋಡಾನ್ ಅಂತ mRNA ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಮೂರನೇ ಕೋಡಾನ್ಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. By that time, you know, the tRNA molecule which is found at the P site then exits out. Okay, then the tRNA molecule at the A site, that is also shifting, then that is also exits out of the ribosomal subunit. Then the third, again the A site of the tRNA is still exposing. Again ಆಯ್ತು, tRNA once amino acid ನ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಓಕೆ ಎ ಸೈಟ್ ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎ ಸೈಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಫ್ರೀಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಾಗೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಟ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕೋಡಾನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈಗ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದ ರೈಬೋಸೋಮಲ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೋಡಾನ್ ಇಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕೋಡಾನ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಹಿಯರ್ there will be an E site, there will be a P site, and there will be an A site. You know, the third tRNA molecule, now the third tRNA molecule will enter into the A site, the exposed site. Okay, that is a landing site. A site here nothing but the landing site. The third tRNA molecule will enter and carrying the third amino acid, ಮೂರನೇ amino acid na carry ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. So hence now the peptide bond will formation takes place between the amino group of the second amino acid and the carboxylic group of the third amino acid. The amino group of second amino acid and carboxylic group of the third amino acid, and there will be a formation of peptide bond between the second and the third amino acid. So now the number of amino acids will be 3. Okay, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಒಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಎನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಮಿಥಿಯೋನಿನ್, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡನೇ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮೂರನೇ ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Similarly, gradually the number of amino acids increases as and when the ribosomes ಒಂದೇ ಸಬ್ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೆ ಮೆನಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ರೈಬೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎನ್ mRNA, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪಾಲಿಸೋಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪಾಲಿರೈಬೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಯುಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಶೋ ಬರೆದು ತೋರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಎರಡು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಓಕೆ, so where next thing what happens, gradually the number of amino acids they start adding up, and mainly with the synthesis of, in the presence of an enzyme what is called as peptidyl transferase. Peptidyl transferase, the main enzyme that synthesizes the peptide bond between the amino acids. Amino acids ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ peptide bond ಅನ್ನು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Gradually the amino acid number that will increasing, it means the length of the chain that starts increasing. That's why the process is what is called as elongation. Ribosomal subunits move ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಮೈನೋ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊಸ tRNA ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಎ ಸೈಟ್ ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಬೈಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸೈಟ್, ಎ ಸೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಪಿ ಸೈಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಸೈಟ್ ಗೆ ಬಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so likewise many number of amino acids will be simultaneously added. Hence a long chain of amino acids will be synthesized, produced in the presence of an enzyme peptidyl transferase. Okay, then what happens next, the third step is what is called as the termination. This is a climax, this is the end. Okay, the third one is what is regarded as the termination process. Termination. See what happens in termination, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ termination ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the polypeptide chain synthesis that will be terminated, that will be end. Once the ribosomal subunits, suppose ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ribosomes ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Once the ribosomal subunits, once they reaches the terminator codons like UAA or UAG, okay, or UGA, once it reaches the terminator codons like UAA ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. mRNA ಮೇಲೆ UAA ಇದೆ. The ribosomal subunits, the ribosome will move along the mRNA and now it reaches the terminator codon, the nonsense codons, terminator or nonsense or stop codons ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇನೆ. terminate UAA or UAG or UGA or ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು, ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಮೂರು ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, either UAA or UAG or UGA, ಆ ಮೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು. Terminator codons or stop codons, or they are also called as nonsense codons. Once the ribosomes reaches the terminator codons on the mRNA, then the polypeptide chain synthesis that will be terminated. Yake? Because these three codons, UAA, UAG and UGA, these three codons, they do not specify any amino acid, or there is no amino acid coded by these codons, or they do not select any amino acid or do not code for any amino acid. Hence, once the ribosomes reaches the terminator codons on the mRNA, then the polypeptide chain synthesis that will be stopped. Okay, then next later ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the two ಯಾವಾಗ terminator codons ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೋ tRNA ನು ಡಿಸೋಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ tRNA ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, the two ribosomal subunits they dissociates. ಇವೆರಡು larger ಮತ್ತೆ smaller subunits ಇವೆರಡು ಏನಾಗ್ತವೆ, larger subunit and smaller subunit they dissociates, they get separated. Okay, and polypeptide chain is released. Polypeptide chain ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ with the help of, in the presence of an enzyme or with the help of an enzyme what is called as peptidyl synthetase. Okay, then the polypeptide chain that will be released. Polypeptide chain ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ in the presence of peptidyl synthetase, and also the termination factors. Termination factors are also known as releasing factors. Termination factors are also called as releasing factors. ಈ ರಿಲೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಪೆಪ್ಟಿಡೈಲ್ ಸಿಂಥೇಟೇಸ್ ಎಂಜೈಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದು, ರಿಲೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ರಿಲೀಸಸ್ ದಿ ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಅಂತ. ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೈಬೋಸೋಮಲ್ ಸಬ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ once the ribosomes reaches the terminator codons, the polypeptide chain synthesis that will be terminated. Then the two subunits of the ribosome they get separated from each other with the help of the releasing factors, and the polypeptide chain will be released, okay, in the presence of enzyme peptidyl synthetase. Then the releasing factors, they adds up water. They adds water and helps in releasing of polypeptide chain. Okay, that helps in releasing of the polypeptide chain by adding the water. Then two subunits of the ribosome they get separated. Then the function of the mRNA that will be completed. mRNA function ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ once ಡಿಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ mRNA ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಟರ್ಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ mRNA ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, that mRNA will be degraded. The mRNA will be degraded. So one thing, very important thing about translation, translation unit can be reusable. It is a reusable unit. Reusable ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ರೈಬೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಬೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ರೈಬೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ tRNA ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, tRNA ಏನು ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಯೂಸಬಲ್. mRNA ಡಿಸಿಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್, ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂತ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಟೈಡ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ those nucleotides will be again reused for the synthesis of another mRNA. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು mRNA ಸಿಂಥೆಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಟೈಡ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಟ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಜೀನ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ all the units, all the molecules which are involved in translation, in translation unit, they are reusable. Okay, so once it reaches a terminator codon, either UAA or UAG or UGA, the process of translation that will be terminated. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಕೊನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಸಿಂಥೆಸಿಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, so these are the three important steps about the translation, that is initiation, elongation and termination. So then what happens after synthesizing a polypeptide chain? ಒಂದು polypeptide chain synthesis ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Okay, see, once the polypeptide chain is synthesized, synthesis ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ there are some modifications in proteins. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು post translational modifications ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, post translational modification. ಈ modifications ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ, ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Proteins which are synthesized for various purpose, they may act as enzyme, they act as a carrier molecule, they act as a messenger. Okay, they are the components of the membrane, cell membrane. They have various functions. They act as immunoglobulins. Okay, they act as antibody molecules. It means they work in immunity. Various aspects irutte proteins to. Protein just ಒಂದು ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಚೈನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರೋಂಥ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲ. that should be modified. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು post translational modifications ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯೋದು. ಏನು modifications ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಈಗ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಯಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. We have studied the structure of protein, like beta pleated structure, alpha helical structure. ಈಗ ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್, 2-3 ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಸೇರಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇನ್ಸುಲಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಈ 2 ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, the 2 polypeptide chain should be linked by means of disulfide linkages. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ 2 ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. 2 ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, 2 ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಇದು ಮಾಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಗ ಗ್ಲಾಬ್ಯುಲಿನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಗ್ಲಾಬ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ದ ಪಾಲಿಪೆಪ್ಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಎ ಗ್ಲೋಬ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ದೆಮ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, 3 ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, 3D ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್. ಓಕೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಯು studied about the translation in this. I will recall once. Translation is a process of decoding of message found on the mRNA into a polypeptide chain. So this mainly takes place in the cytoplasm. This is having 3 major things like steps like initiation, elongation and the termination process. During initiation, the amino acids get activated and they bind with the tRNA molecule, the ribosomal subunit, the smaller subunit of ribosome that binds first to mRNA at the initiator site. Okay, so thereafter the larger subunit will bind, then the first tRNA with the amino acid, what is called N-formyl methionine, because that is always the initiator amino acid, because the initiation codon is AUG on mRNA that will carry the corresponding amino acid to the P site first. The first tRNA binds to the P site, thereafter followed by the second tRNA. There will be a synthesis of peptide bond between those 2 amino acids. So that step is what is called as elongation. Then the termination, once the ribosome reaches the terminator codons on the mRNA, that is UAA or UAG or UGA, then the process of translation that will be terminated or that will be stopped with the releasing factors with some enzymes, and the ribosomal subunits will dissociate, then mRNA will be degraded and polypeptide chain that will be released. Thereafter it undergone several modifications. Okay, so that's all about the process of translation. So ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ you ask freely without any hesitation. ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ in the comment box. You can ask your doubts, okay, or you can ask your queries. Okay, so this is about the process what is called as translation. Okay, thank you.